Hey guys! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Fjallraven Travel Pack, which is a stylish and durable option for one bag travel. And a while back we looked at the Fjallraven Raven 28, and that was a really impressive kind of all-purpose bag. It worked great for day-to-day use or even for quick trips, and I really liked the style and durability of that bag, so I was very curious to see what a Fjallraven Travel Pack would offer. So I went ahead and ordered this from Amazon, and I've been testing it out for the past couple of weeks, and so far it's been a really great experience. The bag has some great organizational options. It's able to hold a lot. It has a nice build quality, and it has a pretty unique look compared to a lot of the other travel bags that we feature on the channel. So I'm excited to share with you guys, and let's go ahead and jump in and take a closer look at the Fjallraven Travel Pack. Starting out with the overall aesthetic, the bag has a pretty simple and almost old school style that definitely fits in well with a lot of Fjallraven's other bags. This feels pretty different from a lot of the more modern travel bags that we've been looking at on the channel, but for the most part I think it works nicely. One thing about the aesthetic is that it does have a very boxy feel, especially because the bag is a little bit more rigid, so it does hold its shape well, which does make it a little bit easier for the bag to stand up on its own. For the most part this works okay. This isn't my personal favorite aesthetic, but as far as functionality it does work very well. As far as the material, this is made out of Fjallraven's G1000 fabric, which is composed of recycled polyester and cotton, and for the most part this feels pretty durable. One thing that I noticed is that it does tend to mark up pretty easy. I've only been testing this bag for a couple of weeks and I already saw a little bit of a mark here on the front, and it does tend to pick up hair quite a bit. But it does look very stylish, and for the most part it doesn't add too much additional weight to the bag. So the bag comes in at a little bit over 3.5 pounds, which is pretty in line with a lot of the other travel bags that we've been looking at, but it does offer a nice amount of padding throughout. Besides the fabric, the company has also included YKK zippers all around that have a pretty nice covering to help add a little bit of additional weather resistance. And then the bag is offered in a bunch of different colors. The version that we have here is the navy blue, but I definitely recommend checking out the company site to see all the different options that they have. Continuing along the side, the bag has nice handles along the side and top that are going to make this easy to place into an overhead storage compartment. This is also going to work nicely if you want to carry the bag like a briefcase. And the handles have a nice leather accenting that gives them a little bit more of a premium feel, and they feel really durable, so even when the bag is packed out, it feels like the handle is going to hold up well. One thing that was a little bit unfortunate to see on the outside is that there's no sort of external water bottle compartment. So if you want to take a water bottle with you, you're going to have to place it somewhere inside the bag or find a way to attach it to one of the handles. Jumping into the capacity, the bag comes in at about 35 liters, which is a really good daily bag size in my opinion, and it's definitely able to hold all the items that I would normally take with me on a 1 to 2 week trip. One thing I noticed about the boxier aesthetic is that it does make the bag stick out quite a bit, and it doesn't give you much flexibility if you're trying to squeeze this into a tighter space. So the way that the bag looks right now, it's pretty much at its fullest capacity, even if it's not fully packed out. So I do wish that it was a little bit less rigid, like the Air Travel Pack 2 or the Tortuga Set Out 35, so that you can kind of squeeze this down to make it look a little bit slimmer and just make it a little bit more maneuverable when you're moving around crowded areas. For the most part, however, the size works really well, and you should be able to carry this on okay onto most domestic airlines. I would, however, be a little bit cautious about carrying this onto something like Ryanair or Air Asia. Since the bag looks a little bit bulkier, I believe it would be a little more at risk for having to be checked. Jumping into the straps and the back paneling, this is definitely an area of the bag that could have used a little bit of improvement. It's not really as comfortable as a lot of the other travel bags that we featured on the channel. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding, and they have this mesh material on the inside to help prevent moisture from building up. They also have a pretty nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when you have it fully packed out. I did notice, however, that there is no sternum strap or the ability to add one if you did want to have some additional assistance distributing the weight, and you also don't have the ability to add any sort of a waist belt. Moving into the back paneling, there is a little bit of padding here, and it does have a nice amount of rigidity, but for the most part this isn't spectacularly comfortable. There's no sort of meshing material or elevation, so this will tend to get pretty moist as you're wearing it with a lot of weight. And it just feels like there could have been some additional padding here, especially because the bag can be loaded out with quite a bit of stuff. So as you're wearing this for a longer period of time, it's just not going to be as comfortable as a lot of the other travel bags that we've looked at. If you have to check the bag or you want to give it a little bit of a cleaner look when you're holding it like a briefcase, you do have the ability to stow the straps away. In order to release these, you have to thread the strap through the buckle, so it does take a little bit of time. Would have been nicer to have seen some sort of a clip to make this a quicker process, so definitely not something that I would be using often. Jumping into the organizational options, this is definitely an area where the bag stood out a little bit more. The way that all the pockets are laid out in this is really effective and easy to use. So jumping in, the first one here on the front is just a very simple quick access compartment that's going to work well for flatter items. Currently what I have in here is just a full-size moleskin notebook to kind of show off the size. So this would be a great spot to put something like a Kindle, or if you had to put in your phone and maybe a charger or some things that you wanted to toss in while you're going through TSA, this is going to be a good spot to do so. So no sort of internal organization in here or felt lining, just a very simple area where you can reach some items quickly as you're running around. Next up is this top quick access area, which may actually be one of my favorite pockets on the bag. I really love when travel bags have these larger top quick access area to make it easier to store some bulkier items. And so jumping in, what I currently have here is my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case. And then I also have my Air Dop kit, which is a little bit larger than some of the other Dop kits that I normally use. But because I had so much extra space in this top area, I wanted to go ahead and try that one out. So on the inside of here, not a whole lot of internal organization going on. So just a large kind of bucket of space that's going to be great for holding your toiletries or any of your electronics as you're going through TSA. And even if you have to put in something like a jacket or a pair of gloves, this is going to be a great spot to do so. And I just love the versatility added by the amount of space that you have in here. In addition to the space here, you also have a small mesh zippered compartment on the flap, which is going to be great for storing smaller accessories. Currently what I have here is my Samsung T5 portable hard drive. So overall, just a really simple but effective layout, and I do wish more travel bags had a top quick access area much like this. And then at the very top, there is one last quick access area. This is a little bit of a smaller pocket that's going to be great for any sort of delicate items that you may be carrying with you. On the inside of this compartment, there is a soft fleece lining, so this will be a great spot for something like your phone or maybe a pair of glasses that don't have a case. And so what I currently have in here is my lightning cable to charge my phone and my tablet. And then I also have my AirPods Pro. So just a really simple compartment. One thing that I did note is when the bag is fully packed out, this does tend to get really tight, so if you try to put in something a little bit bulkier, it is going to be very hard to fit. Moving into the laptop and tech area, the first thing I'll mention is this compartment is lockable, and this does have the travel bag style compartment that opens up flat. So opening this up, comes down all the way, and a very interesting layout here. The first thing that kind of stood out to me is that the laptop compartment is not on the flap itself. So normally travel bags with this style of compartment, the laptop would be on this side here to just allow you to open the flap up. In this case, they're placed up against the back of the bag, which I think is okay. Personally, I don't really like that this actually sits up right against a lot of my clothing, as when the bag is really packed out, this could cause some bulges that might place a little bit too much pressure on my laptop. So I do wish that the sleeve had actually been kept on the flap. But for the most part, a nice laptop sleeve here. This has a nice fleece lining on the inside to help prevent scratching. Currently what I have in here is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, but it does feel like this should be able to hold up to a 15-inch laptop. The sleeve itself offers a decent amount of padding. It's fairly thick, and so pulling my laptop out, no felt lining on the back of the compartment, and it doesn't feel like this is too suspended, so it would have been nice to have seen this sleeve raised just a little bit more. The Fjallraven Raven 28, which we looked at a while back, had a great laptop compartment where this was nicely suspended, so it really feels like they could have made this just a little bit better. But it does at least seem to have a little bit of padding here near the bottom, and the sleeve itself still offers a decent amount of protection for your device. On the front of the laptop sleeve, there is a slot for your tablet. Currently what I have in here is my iPad mini 2, which fits in there pretty comfortably. I was surprised that this took up a good chunk of the sleeve, so if you have a larger tablet, you might be able to squeeze it in, maybe a 9 or 10 inch, but definitely not the 12-inch iPad Pro. And if you place a taller tablet in, it does feel like it would start to kind of reach up to where the laptop area is. But for the most part, still nice to have a dedicated area for a tablet. On the inside of this sleeve, there is a soft fleece lining like the laptop area to help prevent against scratching. But it does feel like this is a little bit flimsy, and I do wish that the sleeve itself had had just a little bit more padding to add some extra protection. And then the last thing in this area is that next to the tablet sleeve, there is a small compartment where you could store something like a pen or a stylus, which is what I currently have here. Moving on to the flap of the compartment, there's not a whole lot going on here. There's just a simple sleeve that you could use to store maybe a folder with some papers. There's no padding on this one. It's just a very simple piece of fabric. And then there's this small mesh zippered compartment that you could use to store some of your smaller tech accessories. Currently what I have in here is my Apple Magic Mouse, but this might be an area where I would store my laptop charger or my phone charger if I wanted to keep all of my tech stuff consolidated to this area. The last area that we're going to take a look at is the main area, and this also has a lockable zipper for additional protection, and it also has these really nice zipper pulls here that make it very easy to open up this larger zipper. So this does have a suitcase style opening to allow you to open the bag flat for easier packing, and I really like the layout of this main area. The organization works really well, and it just offers plenty of space in each of the different sections. So starting off with this larger section here, it has this nice mesh zippered flap to kind of help keep everything in its place and separated. And so in here, what I currently have is just a pair of flatter penguin shoes that I take with me on a lot of trips. And then I also have my larger double-sided compressible packing cube that has my jeans and shirts and larger clothing items. And so now with the compartment empty, you can get a better feel for the space and the layout. So very simple here, no sort of compression straps or additional pockets in this area. I really like these large bucket style compartments as they just make it very easy to organize all of my stuff in the way that makes the most sense to me. And then the last thing that I'll mention here is that you can get a look at the top quick access area that I mentioned earlier. This sits up against all these clothing items, so when it's filled up, it's not going to leave a whole lot of space. And if you do happen to fill this top quick access area up, because it is a pretty large compartment when you actually see it like this, it would take up a decent amount of volume from this main area. So I chose to leave that a little bit emptier so that I could just take full advantage of the capacity offered here. Moving on to the other side, the first thing I'll mention is this mesh zippered compartment at the top. This is going to be a great spot for holding smaller accessories. Currently what I have is just a Field Notes notebook, but this might be a great spot to put your wallet, some extra cash, maybe even some medicine, or just anything smaller that you don't want getting lost in the rest of the bag. And then a really interesting and unique feature to this bag is that you can actually access the top quick access area on the front through this main compartment. So this is the area that we looked at earlier where I had my DOP kit and my sunglasses. So when you have the bag open flat, it's really nice that you can open this up and access that stuff without having to flip the bag over and opening this compartment up. So it just makes for a lot of easy organization and packing when you're in your hotel room and trying to get everything ready to move on to your next destination. And then at the bottom here, there's another separate storage area that offers a nice amount of space. Same similar flap that we saw to the other side to help keep everything in its place. And so plenty of space here. I was actually surprised how much I was able to fit. So currently I just have a pair of Toms, which I take with me on every trip. And then I also have my smaller packing cube that has my underwear, socks, t-shirts, and other small clothing items. And so even with those items in there, there was still some leftover space if I had wanted to add maybe a pair of flip-flops or some gloves or a hat. And so even though I normally don't like bags that have everything kind of segmented out, I usually just like one large compartment to let me organize. Because there's so much space offered in each of these different sections, I really like how this ends up working out. It makes it very easy to just kind of organize all your stuff and take full advantage of each of the different parts of the bag. So just a really great and smart organizational layout all throughout the bag. And if you're looking for a spacious and simple bag that's going to hold up well but might not be the most comfortable, the Fjallraven Travel Pack is going to be a good option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Fjallraven Travel Pack over the past couple of weeks. The bag feels really well made, it has tons of capacity, and I just really like the organizational layout that it has. And so you can purchase this on Amazon or Fjallraven's site for about $190. And so I was actually able to purchase this for about $160, but I've seen the price jump around a little bit depending on when you buy it and based on the different color combinations, so you just kind of have to shop around a little bit. And so at that $190 price point, it is a little bit of an investment, but I do think it's a pretty reasonable price considering the features and build quality that the bag has to offer. Fjallraven makes some pretty great products that hold up well over the longer term, and I also think it compares well to other similar travel bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, one of the first bags this made me think of was the Tortuga Set Out 35 liter. And that's been one of the best travel bags that I've tested out this year. It has plenty of capacity, it comes in at a pretty good price, and it's just one of the most comfortable travel bags to wear. And so it's not going to have as many organizational options as this, and its style is a little bit different, but if you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more comfortable and still offer tons of durability, that's going to be one of the best options to check out. The next bag this made me think of was the Standard Luggage Co. Travel Backpack, which is just a really solid travel bag that has great organizational options, a solid build quality, and it's really comfortable to wear. On top of that, it also comes in at a little bit of a larger size than this, so if you like to pack a little bit more or you just want to have a little bit more flexibility as you're traveling, that's going to be a great option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of was the Air Travel Pack 2, which is still kind of my favorite all-around travel bag. It has a really great size, a sleek look, lots of organizational options, and a really solid build quality. That one's going to come in at a little bit of a higher price point at around $230, but it is a little bit more comfortable and it has better weather resistance. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you the most peace of mind and versatility, it may be worth the additional investment. Another good option to take a look at would be something like the Nomadic Travel Bag, which is a really great and durable travel bag that has a little bit more of a duffel style carry, and it has plenty of capacity, some really great organizational options, and a nice amount of weather resistance. So if you like more of a duffel style bag, or you need a little bit of additional capacity and weather resistance, that's going to be another great option to keep in mind. The last option that I'll mention here, if you have a little bit of a tighter budget and you still want a larger capacity bag, would be something like the Initech 44-liter travel bag that we looked at really recently. That was a really solidly built bag that had plenty of space, some great organizational options, a nice amount of weather resistance, and it came in at under $100. So if you're looking for a similar capacity bag but you have a little bit of a tighter budget, the Initech 40-liter travel bag is going to be a great option to check out. With that being said, the Fjallraven Travel Pack holds up really well against all those bags, and if you're looking for a stylish and durable travel bag that's going to offer some nice organizational options and plenty of space, this is going to be a great option to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of the Fjallraven Travel Pack, and if you've had a lot of experience with other Fjallraven bags and you think there's any good ones that I should feature on the channel, as always, please let me know in the comments. And if you guys found this video useful, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and thank you guys so much.